This is The Dead Linger. This game is in. They have made a lot of improvements over it in the course of the time that I have been owning the game. I've been wanting to record something this for a little while, especially since I started recording. But I definitely want to bring attention to the game. I think it's really nice. I'm starting on a fresh world, a fresh character, fresh inventory. The worlds are procedurally generated, akin to randomness. So where I start is totally random. The world size is completely massive. Alright, starting me off in the middle of a field here. There are a couple of zombies around. There's a town that way. Towns are pretty dangerous. They definitely have, okay, there we go, there's a farm. Alright. We're going to run to the farm. Now, as I said, it is procedurally generated, not randomly generated, so there are trends that do show up. And one of those that is currently a trend is that the barns are great to go if you don't start off in a town. Towns are very dangerous though, because zombies will pursue you relentlessly. They will not follow you infinitely, but they are pretty tenacious. Anyway, while I am running in the straight line, there's a lot of running around in this game. If you're not in a city or a suburban area or something along those lines, you can look, you have a free look. I'm still running towards the barn, but I can look around in any direction, which is, I think, really nice. You just have to hold down a key to activate that mode. You do have to stop to look to your inventory, so I'm not going to do that. Now, as I said, this game is a little unstable, so it may crash. Frame rate's actually doing pretty good up there. It's sitting at about 20, right around 20, 25. It was improved a lot in the last patch. Supposedly they're doing a big engine change, which I don't remember if they said that it was going to improve the frame rate, but a lot of things are going to look better, according to them. Just because of the change, not because they're actually changing any of the items. And there's a zombie over there. He knows where I am. I'm just going to keep running. Fighting the zombies, especially right now, I have no equipment, but fighting them in general as well is very hazardous. Not only, actually not even as much because they are strong and they will hit you hard, but engaging in melee combat and having a zombie die in close proximity will give you a infection risk. It will increase your risk of being infected. And if you get infected, you will die. Or become a zombie, I mean. Not really much difference. You lose control of your character either way. And here we are at the barn. The structures look nice. I like the look of this barn. How you can see through the boards that make it up. There are a lot of boards in here. 2x4s and plywood. That is typical for barns. Like I said, this is a little bit glitchy. That would not normally be hanging from the ceiling. Again, it's very early in the alpha. They're starting to implement features now, one of which is barricading. Now I can pick these up, and since I'm at a fairly safe location, I also pick up this ammo and this gun. Now, you open up your backpack, you've got your main equipment, you can hit this weapon key over here, or the number 1 and 2 will also do the switching. But you have 2 equipment sets, and I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to eat some corn, fills up some hunger. I'm not going to eat the cabbage yet, because I don't want to overfeed. I have 23 shots, and a rifle which is flawed. which in this case it doesn't really do anything. Gonna reload, and by reload I mean load. It's a one-shot rifle. One of the other nice things about this gun is that it does have a scope. I'm not gonna shoot that zombie because zombies use all 5 senses, or have access to all 5 senses in this world. And here comes one for me. They have sight, of course, hearing, which is not uncommon. They can also smell you, which a lot of the time that kind of goes ignored. They can also taste and feel, but that's kind of unimportant because, as they say, if it's tasting you, it's probably too late for you. And touch, they will react. I mean, if you sneak up on one and you hit it, it's gonna know. Alright, this is a good find. This is an axe. It will allow us to chop down trees, which was implemented in the last patch. I can sneak just to be a little bit cautious. Unfortunately, I think the zombies outside already know where I am. Those are some cookies. I can pick them up and take them with me. Now this game does remind me a good bit of Project Zomboid, which I also play, of course. If you are familiar with my channel, you would know that. Just because it's a zombie survival, but there are differences. Now this is a little bit of a confusing thing. It just looks like a teddy bear. Okay. Like I said, a little bit glitchy, just floated back up. But it's actually a backpack. It's a teddy bear backpack. It increases attack damage with sharp weapons. Don't ask. I'm not going to. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. There was some errors in some of the nomenclature, some of the wording on some items, and it actually said the opposite of what it was intended to. Where that used to say it decreases damage with sharp weapons, which made some sense to an extent. I mean, if you've got a weird mind about it. I always check my equipment as I pick it up, because I do not want to carry around contaminated items, because some items are contaminated, and just keeping it on your person is going to give you infection risk. That infection risk of those 4 bars down there, you have hunger, your stamina, the battery power of your flashlight, and infection risk. Now, if your infection risk reaches 100, you are not guaranteed to become infected. You just have a really high chance to become infected if you are bitten. Right now, the zombies have 2 basic attacks. They can either bite you, scratch you, or bite you. If you are scratched, it's not good, because it does increase your infection risk. But if you are bitten, that has a high chance of infecting you. Not just increasing your infection risk, which it certainly does that as well. Alright, I do not see another barn. There's a zombie which I'm going to avoid. Now I could stay out on this farm for a little while, but I have very little food. Oh, there is another farm. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna run over there. I would like to find a hammer sometime soon. It's always good to have. And now I do see a couple of houses on the right. I don't want to go straight into a large town, because there are a lot of zombies in there. And I don't want to fight them all, because there's a high chance that I'll become infected, and even if I do not become infected, my infection risk will definitely go up a lot. In my opinion, they need to do some balancing with that. Because a lot of the times just getting into and settling down and finding a kind of a comfort zone, you've already got such a high infection risk. Just because you do occasionally get hit, because right now the melee combat's pretty sketchy. There's a lot of times, even with a weapon like the fire axe, where I'm getting hit and I don't feel like I should be. Or I'll knock an enemy back after I hit them, and then I get hit after they're already knocked back. But as I will say, probably continuously, this game is in its alpha. So nothing is final, and all of those other disclaimers. There is multiplayer implemented, but the game crashes quite a bit. I did try and host a server, and I was able to do that, but I did not figure out how to make it a dedicated server. So I kind of quit doing that, because if it's not going to be dedicated, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of reason to do it, unless that was going to be the only thing I was going to do. And I do like playing this game by myself, but I wanted to try some multiplayer. In the future, they do plan on implementing such things as vehicles, whether that just includes cars or things of that nature is not final. I've heard of things such as trains, something along the lines of wheelbarrows, which not motorized of course, but would help you transport things. But again, anything that I may mention that they are planning are plans. Plans do not always come through, but they do seem to fulfill a lot of their promises, and they are some big promises. But I mean, as much as this game is unstable, and as much as it's not done, it's really fun to play for short periods of time, at least, or longer periods of time. I'm hoping to be able to do something before night comes through here. I mean, you can see that line on the skybox. The skybox is definitely not done. I believe in the next patch that is being updated, though. There's not really an ambient light kind of thing. Night or day turns into night very quickly. It's just, it starts to kind of get dim just a little bit, and then it suddenly goes black. Again, that's not final. Do like running through the cornfields. I don't know why. There's no collision on the corn, of course, which may or may not change. They are kind of trying to focus on a realistic experience and have as much realism as possible, while still maintaining fun. Their kind of creed on that is fun trumps realism. And I am almost there. Really, what I'm trying to get here out of this is the ammo. Anything else is just a bonus. Looking back, okay, that is over there, that town, or just a couple houses, whichever one it is I'm okay with. Now then, oh, I can pick up a lot of stuff, that's right, I did get a backpack. Fortunately, in the last patch they upped the backpack find rate by quite a bit. I'm gonna need both of these, which very nearly puts me at full. Alright, I'm gonna check out this gun. This is a United rifle, this one is flawed, so this one is in better condition. We're just gonna drop that. You can also drop items by simply closing the backpack. I don't know if there's a way to unload a gun, so that shot's just gonna stay in there. The firearms, they're trying a concept which I don't know how new it is. It feels like it's new, but you have to load each magazine separately. So if I had a gun that had a magazine, which this one doesn't, this is a breech load single shot. Can only have one bullet at a time. And I just load and that's it. However, a lot of the pistols and a few of the other weapons that are available do feature magazines. And what it is that when you'll be able to swap out the magazine right away, but you have to fill the magazines first. And the weapon will have a set number of magazines that come with it, which of course will also have their own individualized capacities. So finding a gun will actually take a little bit of time to have it set up right. That is a hand axe. I have a much better weapon than that. The hand axe is actually an awful melee weapon in this game, whereas the fireman's axe is pretty good. That is a rotten banana. I do not want to eat a rotten banana. There's a zombie right outside that room. I'm gonna be careful. They may be coming after me anyway. I'm gonna close the door behind me. Some shoes. I have well-kept ones already. Just gonna back out of here. Keeping an eye out. That zombie might be coming towards here. Gonna go up the stairs. I can break out windows by kicking. I believe the default key for that is F, but I have it set to middle mouse button. Okay, that window just broke. The zombie has breached. You can hear him banging on the door faintly. Alright, I gotta be really careful now because they are definitely aware of me. Okay. Now, items automatically equip, which is fine, but if it's contaminated, I don't like the fact that they do, and you can't check to see if it is before you put it on. I think he's banging at the front door, so I'm okay for the moment. I do not want to make a lot of noise. Alright, this room was empty. If I can just sneak over to here. Unfortunately right now, I just saw that one flop into the window. I do not have a hammer right now. There's another backpack. I'm not going to mess with it. Actually, I'm going to grab this jacket, which doesn't do anything. Oh no, it's a hoodie, excuse me. Alright, now traditionally I break the door to the bathroom when I'm done in a house. That way if there's any zombies in there, whatever. Okay. Now where was that hill? Alright, it's over there. I'm just gonna run for it, and if I hit... There it was. I barely got that. If you hit... what is it? Crouch? Yeah. If you hit crouch when you land, you'll do that roll there. And that can prevent you from hurting yourself from jumping from too high of a height. Jumping from the lowest point on a roof, on a flat area, if the ground is flat, is safe. But just about anything higher than that, you're risking taking a little bit of injury, which usually is not a big deal. That may change later on if they decide to implement something like when you do land from a high jump, you may injure yourself or be temporarily slowed down, something along those lines. That's not in yet, but you do get damaged. So damage heals fairly quickly. It's kind of like a lot of FPSs. If you don't get hit for a period of like 10 seconds, I mean obviously FPS is a little bit less than that, but if you don't get hit for about 10 seconds, you're going to be fully healed. So the zombies are really not a threat of just beating you up. Usually it's the infection that's going to get you. That's why I'm not really fighting them. Now you'll see some combat come up here when I get to those houses, because there's virtually no way for me to get in there without some fighting. You cannot reload while sprinting, but you can reload while walking. Alright, I'm gonna... Alright. Now you can see all those little specks, those little black specks are zombies. Currently there's just one, as you may have noticed, one character model for every zombie. They all look the same, just like all the players look the same. I cannot go into a third person mode. They may or may not implement one in the future, but currently it is not there. But we all look the same. It shows you with a backpack whether you have one or not. That's all going to change at some point, but they're worrying about other things right now. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm surprised that this game has not crashed yet. I'm happy about that. Frame rate's not the best right now. It's obviously not optimized. Go to the forums every once in a while. I used to go to them very often before I started recording videos. But they'll tell you constantly that it's not optimized. The grass is springing in there kind of weirdly. But yeah, I've got this... No, not that big of a group following me. Probably more than I think, though. Okay, I'm gonna go into this house. This is a big old city. Alright, I always like to start off in the garage, because that's the only place I've found a gas mask, really. Well, no, that's not even true. Alright, no. I was hoping, I found the board. I was hoping I would also find a hammer, but no such luck. I'll close this up. I do have zombies following me. They are all slower than you are as a player. And there are not different types of zombies, but they're basing that on how long a corpse has been animated for. The longer it's been animated for, the slower and more decayed it gets. I don't know if there's a point where the decomposition just has it crumble into goo or anything along those lines. But if you become infected and you die, you will come back as a zombie. And you will be a very fresh zombie. It'll be very fast. I can hear them right there. They're actually already inside. Now, I have a couple of options here. They do not... Oh, no. Okay. Open. Go. Now, they all heard that. That's not necessarily a good... That is not actually at all a good thing. That's one of the downsides to this gun, is you do have to reload after every shot. Fortunately, this is a two-story building. I'm not going to be careful in here. There's way too many that are definitely aware of me. Currently, the layouts of the houses are not really very randomized. The contents are, but not the layout. Some good food in here. Oh, and some waffles down there. Alright, they're banging on stuff. A few of them get through pretty quickly. So I want to get out of there. Oops. Come on, door. Door. Oh! That would explain it. There was a zombie in the room I was trying to enter. The door saved my life. Alright, you you can see, that's not a lot of zombies. I mean, if I were to fight them, yes, but I've seen much bigger groups. And I'm talking about in this current version too, not just the previous versions where the spawn rate was pretty ridiculous. I may crash here. I've had a few times where I was on a roof and I thought it caused a crash, but differing opinions say that it didn't. I forgot to do the roll there. For a long time I was playing without the roll working because of a conflict on the key bindings, so I don't really think about it. But as I said earlier, here we are, a hammer. Oh, did I get it? Oh, I'm too full. Inventory is too full. I'll drop one of these guns. Drop it. And now I'm getting hit and bit. No, I'm dead. This game is very frustrating at this point, and that was my own fault that I died there. And that's kind of the way I'm going to do these videos, if I do a lot of them, is I'm just going to play until I die, and that's going to be it. I may change that. Game is not paused. But that's the dead Linger. If I would have kept an eye out, could have fought longer. I'm going to quit here, and I'll decide if I want to start a fresh game again the next one. But thank you very much for joining me.